Hey, how's it going, guys? This is Papa Joe for this week's edition of the Metal Shop Vlogs. Today is Wednesday, March the 14th. Couple days, uh, it'll be St. Patrick's Day, and we're pretty excited about that.
Yay!
Somebody's having a birthday show at Love Buzz on Saturday the 17th, so come and hang out with us.
Support.
Buy us some shots, or
There you go.
I don't know, maybe some wings or something. Today, we have the honor of featuring our good friends in Heinous Mutation. If you could give us a quick intro.
My name's Smiley. I play the drums.
I'm George. I do the vocals
I'm Annie. I play the bass.
Oh, and he plays guitar also.
and the guitars.
Yeah, Heinous Mutation is one of the few local bands who've played here at the Metal Shop. Back when we used to have shows more regularly, like a year ago, and they were one of the bands who was able to jump on one of the bills, and they killed it here, man. We also had the privilege of seeing them recently at the Rock House, and that was pretty cool. It was like catching up with them again because it had been a good while since the last time we saw you guys.
Yes.
And I think you guys mentioned the last time we saw you was before that was at Mason Music Hall, and that place has been closed for over a year now.
Damn, Mesa Music Hall.
Yeah, they used to be our home away from home, man. Mason Music Hall. Shout out to Justin. So go ahead and talk to us about how you guys came to be Heinous Mutation.
Well, I met George in middle school. We went to Eastwood Middle here, just right down the street, and we used to walk home, get rides home from my dad every day. And little did I know that he lived right down the street from me. We thought for a while, it was just like we get to a point where we all just split our ways. But yeah, he lived right down the street from me, so been hanging out ever since. Going to shows, hanging out. Became real good best friends for. Oh, man, pretty much he is my best friend.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
George seems like a good guy to have as a best friend.
Yeah. He's all right. No, he's cool. He's
And
cool.
George?
You carried me up the stairs more than a few times.
Oh yeah.
Cleaned up puke.
Back in the
And
day.
then, I met Eddie. I had a show back in the day at KXCR, 89.5 at the witching hour, and I hired her as an engineer for the show, and just hit it off. Like the same music, and shortly after that, he was in a band called Drunk Again. The bass player ended up being my brother-in-law, which he was married to her sister, and.
Wow.
Yeah.
That dissolved. Well, Eli left, and we replaced him with Annie, and then the singer and the other guitarist left, and we stuck around. And
Just create our own thing.
That's awesome. So you're talking about a radio show? KX?
that was on the 89.5 KXCR
That was AM or FM?
FM.
FM?
Yeah, it was an FM station.
That's crazy, man. That's awesome. So you said it was called The Witching Hour.
The Witching Hour.
What was your on-air name?
No, I was just George. I was trying to be Azazel, from the death metal records. But people say it funny and be like, "Hey, you're Azazel."
People always have to
Like,
fuck
motherfucker,
shit up,
you
man.
listen to the same records I do. You know how to say, but so after a while, I just stayed George. But it was only on like 6 months about. So
Yeah, I understand that. Like, Papa Joe, how hard is it to say that? Papa Joe. It's easy. If you can't say that, then
Really? People mess up your name?
yeah, dude.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay, so and then you brought on Annie as an engineer. So you guys are pretty savvy with like recording.
well, it's been a while.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. That George had a radio show that had to do with metal. Crazy. Yeah, one thing we've never talked about on the Metal Shop vlogs is the reason why we call the back room at our home the Metal Shop. It all goes back to the 80s when I was a teenager, and we used to go to bonfires. And at 10 o'clock every Friday night, this show would come on the Q, and Kelly Q, and it was called the Metal Shop. And that's where I heard of like Queensryche for the first time.
Yeah.
Remember Doc and Breaking the Chains? That's how far back it goes, man.
Oh yeah.
So a lot of the like Great White. I remember the first time I heard Great White, I was blown away by the guitars, and it was awesome, man. So yeah, that's why the Metal Shop will always have a special place in my heart because of the memories. So I figured it'd be cool to call it the Metal Shop here.
Yeah, that was the first records. Before my mom would let me buy records, I listened to. So I had like Van Halen, and they would do the interview and play some jams from them. So I had like a little greatest hits collection of
Your
bands
mixtape.
that I would record.
Yeah, your own
Back
mixtape.
then, you would record off the radio.
Yep.
Yeah,
Put like a recorder up to the radio. And
Yeah.
press the two buttons together.
Yep.
Okay, so like, talk to us about your personal music history. I know you mentioned that you guys were in a band before.
Yeah.
But what about before that? Like when you were kids, like what got you into music?
You know, we'd always tried, man. I always tried being in music, but you know, back then you really thought, you know, you sell your soul to the devil and drink some whiskey, and you become Pantera. And it took us a long time to realize, you know, it was just practice and practice and repetition. And
And
it
back
took
then
us
it was
that long.
tablature, no YouTube.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
tablature.
Or by ear.
By ear, yeah.
By ear.
What about Annie? Like, were you like a bad kid or anything?
No, I wasn't a bad kid.
Band,
I mean-
band kid.
Oh, she said that. A band kid?
Yeah.
No. My background, I started off playing the violin. And then I changed to guitar, and I stayed at guitar until these guys asked me to play bass for their band. And then I started playing bass. And so,
Do you play guitar on some of the songs?
no, I don't
You
play
never
guitar
have?
on the songs. No, we always have played live.
Mm-hmm.
We figured that if we started recording for reals, I would help with a second guitar, maybe a rhythm guitar. But right now, I just play bass live. So.
Cool. So what about some of your influences? Like we'll start on from Annie this way.
My influences, I guess my main influences starting from when I was a little younger, I started listening to Typo Negative, and I guess more death metal than the thrash at the time. But they both kind of, you know, they're both kind of equal in influences. So it would be death and thrash, and then I always kept Typo Negative in the background, knowing that, you know, metal doesn't always have to be a specific way. You know, they don't always have I guess you can't put them in a genre like death or thrash. They have their own style, and I kind of like that. So I have my death metal, you know, favorite, and then I love thrash. I mean, it's just some of the best music that's written comes from thrash bands. And then I like the idea of bands being able to just be unique, be their own style. You know, not being able to be put in a place in
Right.
a specific genre.
Yeah.
You know.
Cool.
Not us, huh?
Follow that up, George.
Well, I grew up in the 80s, so it was either, you know, glam or thrash. So I caught the tail end of the thrash, and then, you know, got into the death metal stuff. You know, those killer legends now. We were to see them back in clubs with all these, the locals, man. They're like Reign of Terror we got to see, and the Hate Campaign, the Pissing Razors we saw, USS we saw here. But now at my age, yeah, there's too much, man.
there's a
You know,
lot.
from like Bob Dylan to, you know, all the way. So, but I'll keep it death and thrash too, right?
Smiley?
Well, I grew up with my parents mainly listening to a lot of music. You know, weekends they would, you know, blast the stereo while we're cleaning house or whatever. And main thing for my mom was the Beatles. She loved the Beatles, so I grew up definitely on the Beatles. My dad was more Motown, so you know, Smokey Robinson, Fats Domino. That's what I grew up as a young age. Probably when I got into like middle school, when I met him, that's when I started getting more into metal. And, you know, of course, the big four: Metallica, Slayer, Anthrax. Especially Anthrax. I love Anthrax. Later on in high school, my favorite band of all time is Primus. I love Primus. They're weird, they're wacky. Not everybody really gets into them or understands them. And then once I started playing drums, I started paying attention more to drumming, just the drumming part. So, you know, Rush is a big, you know, influence on me. Metallica's Lars Ulrich.
Uh-huh.
Except for Saint Anger, right?
Huh? Yeah, everything below the Black Album. Although I did hear, I don't listen to the Q that much anymore, but I did hear one of their newest songs, and I actually thought it was actually pretty good. I was like, oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah, it has a classic Metallica sound.
Yeah, I think that's what. Well, I know everybody has their opinions about where they went, but you know that was my thing. I missed their old sound, and they kind of went a different direction for a while. But yeah, you know, as I got older, it became more metal, more thrash, you know. But you mentioned it, you know, how your show is called after a show on KLEQ. I guess with, because I really can't, I know they find metal and everything everywhere, but if they go looking for it, really, for me, it was like, you know, if that show wasn't on KLAQ or Headbangers Ball wasn't on KLAQ, I wasn't really exposed to a lot of metal. So nowadays it's really hard for me to find a new band to get into. And, I still focus more on the classics. Anthrax puts out a new album, and I go straight for it. Tool puts out a new album. Well, they haven't put one out in I don't know how many years, but you
That's
go
cool.
straight for it. So, but yeah, it's hard for me to find anything new nowadays.
Yeah. So like, what about, how would you wrap up your sound, like in your own words?
Oh, we're really still trying to develop
Yeah.
the sound, man.
We're still
I mean,
figuring it out.
we're really ripping off Nuclear Assault, Violence, and Anthrax, maybe. Those are the three bands. Or Suicidal, actually, would probably be the three we're trying to steal from the most.
Well, that's respectable.
Yeah, we're trying
Nothing
to
wrong
keep
with that.
trying to keep it in that realm, but it goes off. They're like I said, at my age, there's too much to keep it, in one spot. It's really hard for me.
That's not so heinous.
No, not at all, man.
Okay, so let's go ahead and get into your original music. How many original songs do you guys have as a band?
I think we're pushing like almost an album, like 7 or 8.
Yeah.
7 or 8, like solid songs you play at shows.
Yeah. We try and cut. We've got songs we cut out now, so it's going.
Cool.
It's better.
So like, what about like set length? Like, if I wanted to book you for a show, how much time could you contribute to a bill?
Oh no, we could do all the way up to like 45 minutes, maybe. Yeah, probably even an hour.
Nice.
But we find people lose interest around the 20-minute mark, so we try and keep it around. 25
Yeah,
minutes.
that's true. You gotta just punch them in the face while you have their attention.
Yeah, I'd rather leave them wanting more than you're like, here's another one. Saddle up.
We got one more song. Okay. And how much of that have you guys recorded? Any of that material?
We've tried, man, but we have a couple of songs that we recorded. Larry Overstreet from Overstreet Productions recorded for us when we first started.
I didn't know you recorded. I thought you just did like merch and stuff like that.
No, nothing. We don't want none of that merch in our closets. You know what I mean? Well, I still have like Drunk Again shirts, and we got records in the sealed. You know what I mean? I do want those. We do want that, but I think we're a little more businessy now. So if there's a demand for it, we'll get to it. But
Well, you guys have like the coolest logos, man.
oh
I don't know who does your band logos, but they're pretty
That was you,
legit.
right?
yeah, we were hand drawn.
You draw them by hand?
Yeah.
Do you transfer them like to digital format?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they're pretty sweet. I don't know how you come up with them, but I think they would look kick ass like on a t-shirt.
Well, everybody got kick-ass logos in El Paso, man. You gotta keep up. But
I like how you guys broke away from the tree branch,
Yeah.
tree branch logos.
That's one of the things that I mentioned to him when he first showed me the logo is like, what do you call it? The splatter gut?
The squash bug logo?
Squash bug logo, I mean, they're cool. They're neat to look at, but sometimes you gotta really look at it to see what the name of the band
Sometimes
is.
you can't make them out.
Yeah, so when he did what he did, the way it came out, I thought, oh, that's pretty cool. That's different,
Yeah, they had that actually had like a touch of the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Kinda
were
like
trying to
Judas
do like a
Priest,
throwback.
straight lines and stuff.
Yeah, we wanted to go
Yeah,
back to logo you
Pepperidge.
can read, and
Yeah.
the,
I like it, man. I like
the
how-
trend will come back around anyway. So we were like, well,
And it's so weird how it's like so symmetrical. Like, Heinous Mutation, actually ends up being like very. It's crazy, man. Gotta work on that.
yeah, we're just cheap, man. We don't want to pay nobody to get the logo done.
So the few songs that you said are recorded. Are
Yeah.
they like available for people to listen to like online or?
Well, we're so lazy with it. It was Bandcamp is I think where you find our
Where Reverb Nation.
Reverb
Nation?
Nation.
That's the one linked to Facebook.
Yes.
That's
Cool. So people can hear your stuff there.
Yeah.
Cool. So check them out. Just I guess you could do like a Google search for Heinous Mutation.
Yeah, we're the only ones that come up,
yeah,
man.
that's true. You do a Google for Heinous Mutation. That's the only band that comes up. So
Nice. And that's important right there, man. Some people have to change their personal names because there's too many people like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so like, what do you guys write about?
Well, he does all the writing.
God, it's hard. It's so hard now. Being my age, I don't want to tell nobody what to think, or I can't out devil the satanic bands, or there's nothing left to mutilate anymore. So
And you don't want to be that guy that's like lecturing you.
Yeah, I don't want to tell people how to vote or what to think and stuff. So I try and keep it light, man. It's more like a comedy slant to the songs.
I get you. So like, what are the titles for some of your songs?
Like It Never Gets Better. I guess would probably be the most personal one. It's about that it took me this long to get anything done because I just had this idea. Like I said, I had this idea that you sell your soul to the devil at the crossroads, and do some drugs and whiskey, and then you're Pantera. You know what I mean?
You say Bloody Mary 3 times in the dark.
Yeah. And I thought it was like magic, or you're born with it. And so that was the idea.
I never had the balls to do that though, man.
With the whole Bloody
The whole like sell your soul and stuff. I figured, no, you know what? I'll keep my soul and then just
Just work hard.
So
Work at it.
so I always I smoke a lot of weed, and then once you stop getting scared that the cops are gonna bust in, or your mom, you start getting like introspective, and then I thought, all these problems I had, I was like, well, maybe it's me. You know what I mean?
maybe it all starts with me.
Yeah, maybe it's me. So that's the thing with It Never Gets Better. People doing the same thing, expecting different results.
Yeah, that's madness. Right? Cool. And like, do you guys have plans to like actually put that full length together, that album or EP? Because people deserve to hear your stuff, man. Not just at shows.
Oh man, we feel like like we're fakes. You know what I mean? Like like we're not supposed to be doing any of this anyways. It's kind of weird.
Well, I mean, but you enjoy it though. I mean, you guys,
Oh, yeah.
we've seen you guys play live, and you guys enjoy what you're doing, and you have a passion for it. Obviously, you're taking the time to do it, so
Yeah.
it'd be cool to put that on, some kind of media where you could share it with people.
Yeah, if the price is right, I guess, right? And,
Yeah, I guess maybe we clean up. We got 2 more songs coming down the pike, or we just about to finish 2 more songs. Maybe after that, and then we'll clean them up, make them sound really good, and be ready to actually do something.
That's awesome. And then you got like 2 audio engineers here. So.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't know. No way. We remember.
It just takes practice to remember all that.
There's good stuff. Check out the What Are the Monsters, the band. I just had their name. Epitaph Romance.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just put out a record, man. It sounds killer, man. It sounds like really professional sounding.
Yeah,
So
that's cool. I wonder who they recorded with. You don't know?
I have no idea. I've been wanting to talk to them. I haven't seen them.
Well,
we
there's some
did
good-
the CD release show with them, and then I hadn't talked to them since.
There's some
but-
good recording studios here in El Paso, man.
Yeah, but that one sounds like
Sounds
that's
legit.
really impressive.
Yeah, I don't know why, but people always say like you judge the recording by the drums.
Yeah.
The drums kind of like rule
Oh yeah, of course.
how the recording sounds. Sometimes they sound too hollow, or like if it's in a too faint.
Yeah.
But if they sound strong, then that's a good recording.
They pretty much kept the '90s drum sound, right? That pretty much is the standard still. You notice, like the Fear Factory, or the drum Fear Factory came out. We were like, or even Pantera. Pantera, that drum sound was just dominated, right?
Yeah.
It just revolutionized everything. And I think like new records now, they kind of still say, but that drum sound is still so recognizable from the '90s.
Well, I'm sure I speak for a lot of your fans out there who, when I say that, it'd be cool to hear your stuff somewhere, like maybe on Spotify. Maybe I'm searching for Heinous Mutation on there and I find you guys on there. So we look forward to the day that you guys have that available for us.
Yeah.
I actually got to find out. Well, yeah, record something and I guess find out how to. Because I'm not very tech savvy anymore.
Yeah, I know you go. There's like several services you go through, like CD Baby. Once you get your music
Oh yeah.
there, then they put it on Spotify and was it iTunes and
Wow.
was it iHeartRadio and all those other
Yeah.
platforms. Cool. So one of these days, be on the lookout for them. so now it's time for the show-off segment. You guys know we call it the show-off segment because Judy and I love shows. I don't know why we're still having kind of a slow year this year. We've only been to 13 shows. But we will make up for it, man. Last year we went to 110 shows, man.
Wow.
Dang, man. You guys saving up for the Metallica tickets? Or?
Nah, you know what? We saw Metallica in the 80s before they were big, so I really don't. I think Judy and I share more passion for like the underground touring bands and local bands than we do for like big bands. I honestly can't see myself taking pictures of Metallica because they don't need my pictures. They could care less. But like local bands, I can help them out, help them promote, and also give them memories, man. They can look back on. It's cool. Like today, one of our friends from a former band of Sand and Fog, he shared a picture that I took like 4 years ago, and it's cool to see that stuff,
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's for us. It's a totally different kind of passion.
Yeah, you hooked us up, man. We don't even look fat or nothing.
That was all you guys. All I did was take a picture, man. Okay, so where have you guys played here in El Paso, and maybe out of El Paso? What venues?
God, that's a good one. That's why you should give us the questions before, so we can write down.
It's all off the cuff, man.
the venues.
We played
Oh, you maybe
The
Rock
Rock
House.
House, man. The Rock House
Mesa
is where
Music
it's
Hall.
happening.
Mesa Music Hall.
The music hall.
Here.
We play here, the metal shop.
What was that little garage place that Larry had?
The UFO Studios.
Yeah, UFO Studios. And then Larry O's on the northeast.
You guys mentioned Cruces.
We play the Warehouse Bar, up in Cruces. Shout out to John Bongman. He's got the hookup up in Cruces.
Bongman. It's a good deal right there. And we've met Bongman a couple of times. We met him at Rock House last year, and you can tell that his heart is in the right place too, man.
Yeah,
That dude does
works
it for the
hard,
right
man.
reason. So hey, shout out to Bongman.
Yeah, get well.
Yeah, hey, get better, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Good guy.
Yeah. Have you guys played anywhere else other than El Paso and Cruces?
No.
That's it.
Do you guys like aspire to play anywhere else? Maybe bigger shows or?
I don't know. I think for right now, I guess because we all got jobs and stuff and whatever. But maybe like around the area, Las Cruces, Albuquerque, Phoenix, one day you do that.
Yeah, I'm asking because like right now everybody's all going crazy with South by Southwest and they're all driving up to Austin and all that good shit.
Yeah, I don't like Austin.
I've been there once. And
They should enjoy it, man. I think all that's gonna be gone soon, huh? With gentrification.
Oh, and then like all those bombings. They had like 3 bombings there.
Oh yeah, that's horrible.
This last week.
Yeah.
That sucks so bad, man. I was reading one of the stories. One of the kids, like, just got accepted to play at UNT. He had just gotten accepted to play UNT. That's where my son goes to school there. And this kid was a bassist, 17 years old. He had played with he was pretty well established for a 17-year-old kid. And he had been accepted to play UNT. And just reading that story, it just broke my heart, man, because it's really close to home, man. This
Yeah.
kid is
yeah.
just like my kid.
Wow.
And it could happen to anybody. It sucks so bad, man. So I don't know. I don't know if that has anything to do with like the fact that there's so many people in Austin right now. But it's kind of weird, like the timing,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, didn't want to dampen the mood, but
I know, man.
any other places like maybe Dallas, and I asked because we have some friends in Loma Master, and those guys are everywhere, man. They're playing in Hollywood.
Yeah.
They're playing like the Whiskey and the Viper Room, and I think they were in Austin recently too. They did that Dirty Dog Fest. And I think
Yeah.
they headlined it.
Yeah, I think all that kind of stuff would be really nice, but like I said, it's really kind of hard for me and maybe Annie to get long extended periods of time off from work, and we're not. I mean, I think if I were still 21, yeah, I'd be down for it. We still don't have really that big of a care in the world, but we got our house. We're adults now.
We got bills to pay.
We got bills to pay, so it makes that hard. But that would be nice to do,
Yeah, it sounds like fun, man. Even like for me as a photographer, I'd like to go just tag along and take pictures in a different city,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's nice. We've been there. We went to go see the Lemmy statue. We got to take a peek in there and stuff, but no, I've never.
Yeah, maybe when you guys go to LA for your week-long trip, we can make that
Yeah.
a thing to play shows out
Harass California.
there. Yeah.
Yep. Go do some mutating in California.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so as far as like bands that you've opened for, like, what are some of the big touring bands, or maybe some of your favorite local bands that you've played with?
Well, we have a good problem, because we're a little more like a throwback thrash band. So we play with Defleshed and Gutted. We could play with them from to what are these people we're playing? Crash Karma is what's coming up at the Warehouse Bar next Wednesday. Cool. And that's another. We have we could play with the screamy bands to the death metal bands.
Yeah, I know Defresh and Gut is pretty
Yeah.
pretty heavy.
That's more like our home. We feel more at home there. But it's interesting to play. We've played with some interesting bands, huh?
Yeah, a lot of different bands.
Those remember those Mad Max dudes who were dressed up? What was the name?
Oh, I don't remember.
The dude had the trash can. He came out with a trash can lid as his armor.
Oh,
Remember that band?
Was it like a Sesame Street?
Yeah,
Or
that
Oscar
was
the Grouch?
really good. Yeah, that was
Where's
really,
Elmo with a
that was
flying
really
V?
awesome. Who else? Nervosa. That was one of the bigger bands.
Who's the one that we played with at the Warehouse? That was from one of the big bands from back in the day. Didn't he like lose his leg or something like that recently?
The
Right.
Grim Reaper.
Yeah,
that was
there
in
you go.
Cruises too. Yeah, we opened for Grim Reaper, man. That was the shit.
Yeah, we played that show. Well, we opened up for him.
Wow, that's cool.
We played
Yes.
for the Cowboys from Hell. They did a show in
Oh, no shit.
from El Paso.
El Paso, yeah.
They did a show in Las Cruces, and we opened up for
Was Matt still there?
Yeah. Shout out to Matt again.
Hey,
of Rock
shout out to
House.
Matt, man. Yeah, Matt's like keeping the shows coming, man.
Yeah.
Like if you can't say that there's never a show to go to in El Paso because there's always something going on at Rock House.
Oh
Yeah, almost every day, huh?
Yeah. And so like, what about speaking of Matt? Like, what about promoters that you work with?
The usuals. We've done some work for the Dead Girls booking, John Bongman, Booga, of course, man. He's the hookup, the main hookup right now. He's my Booga, Metal Meltdown, or Texas Meltdown. But shout out to Booga, man. He's been helping us out a lot. Helps us out a lot.
Yeah, we've like worked together with Ismael like, quite a bit over the years, and Judy did too. Like before we started dating, like she was helping him out like at the door and like getting local bands and stuff. So yeah, we go way back with Ismael. Good dude right there.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yep.
A lot for El Paso.
Also Matt at Rock House, he's booked you guys too.
Yeah.
Always a pleasure. I always feel bad for poor Matt. He's got to endure the heinous mutation. He seems to take it well.
But it's weird, man, because like people don't. I don't know, man. I'm sure people realize that it's not easy to be a promoter. Like I get offers all the time. Hey, would you want to host this band in El Paso? And I have to be honest and say, you know what? I don't, because I'm not a promoter, man. And as much as I kind of like try to go that way to promote shows and stuff, I know that's not my place, and that's not something I want to do because it's a hard job.
Oh yeah.
And I like my spot where I just take pictures and go to shows and support my way. That's my role, and Judy does her thing with her videos and stuff. And like we help promoters book locals, which is contributing as well. But I just can't see myself booking bands because I know it's not easy, man. It's hard finding a venue for them, and the guarantees are not always easy because honestly, shows in El Paso are very unpredictable. You never know.
Yeah.
One day you might hit a home run and get 200 kids, and then the next show you just see Judy and I there in the audience.
Yeah.
Because it's happened. It's happened to where her and I and the bands that are playing that day are the only ones there.
Yeah, we've done
we
that.
call those shows practice.
Rehearsal, live rehearsal.
We get out
yeah.
there, we set up our stuff and everything, and you're playing for the bartender.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of
like,
that,
well,
man.
it's a practice.
Which is cool for us because like I get all the freedom to roam around the pit without getting hit.
Yeah.
Taking pictures from whatever angle I want, and the same for Judy. She gets space to work with, but that's not the point. The point is to get kids out there, man, and promote.
Yeah.
And that's something that I'm not willing to risk my paycheck on.
Well,
It's
that's
tough,
that's one of the things is like I said, I see the same damn motherfuckers like since I've been seeing since I was a kid, man.
Yeah.
Like I don't see no new kids. Like we were kids, we'll go to shows, go see Cannibal
Like-
Corpse, and
Like name somebody that goes to shows all regularly.
Regularly. Oof.
like from any time that goes regularly. What's that guy? John. What's
John
that
Hess.
shit? John Hess, man. Oh,
That
see
dude goes
guy.
to shows in Las Cruces and here. and he buys merch, and he brings his girlfriend to all the shows, and he's just there, man. I think
Yeah,
it's
that guy's
awesome.
he's a down guy, man.
Hell yeah, he is, man. That guy, John Hess, goes to Austin with bands. Just to support him, he'll go to Albuquerque with a band just to be there and help him out and stuff.
Wow.
Dude, like, he's like a super fan.
Yeah, I don't know him personally. It took a while. I would say hi to him, and he was like,
No, he's a good dude, man.
Yeah.
He's a good dude.
That's cool.
You know that
That was
his
weird.
heart is in the right place.
because that was the first face that popped when he asked. Yeah, I see that guy everywhere, man.
So, what are some of the things that you see at shows that make you happy?
The bartenders at Rock House.
That's the Rock House, yeah.
They keep the beers coming.
We're rocking those little shorts, man. Can you imagine you had to go to work in those little shorts, man?
I couldn't do it, dude. Because I bend over, I bend down and stuff with my camera, so it'd be really awkward. I could not be a rock house babe.
Yeah, no offense, but no.
You know, it's
I'll be on
just
Snapchat like crazy, man.
just I guess we're so it's starting off for us. We're still a young band, so just people bobbing their head or people coming up after the show.
I guess
Things
when
we
you-
never noticed. People asking us about our lyrics and people
Yeah.
asking us about songs. I'm like, are you? I don't think anybody paid attention.
Yeah, I don't know about these guys, but from where I'm sitting there back in the drums, the lights are in my face, and I can't see really anybody that's out in front of me. So half the time I can't tell if there's 2 people or if there's 10 people.
Can you
Yeah.
guys tell when I'm flashing the camera?
No,
it doesn't bother us.
when you did the shoot this last time at the Rock House, as a matter of fact, you came up on me and you startled me. I was like, I didn't see you there, but it was okay. I was like, oh, okay.
That's why I get the best shots, man. Up close and personal.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, like you said, it's really cool when somebody comes up to you and says, hey, good show. Even if it is that one person that showed up at the show, comes up to you and says, man, you guys played really good. I really enjoyed it. Also like it when the sound guy comes up and because that's their job to make you sound good. And they come up and they tell you, man, you sounded really good. Telling the whole band they sounded really good.
They tell that to everybody though.
I get
Do you guys do you have to tip the song guy?
What's that?
You don't tip the song guy?
If I remember, I try and give him a shout out, but I sometimes forget. Depends on the vibe.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, so let's talk about your social media. People can find you on Facebook, obviously.
Yes.
Is that the only social media you guys have for your band?
Yes.
For the band, yeah.
There's no Instagram or Twitter or
No.
Snapchat. Okay, so is that the best way for people to reach you, like to book you?
Yeah, it's probably the only way.
The only way. Is there like an email associated with your band or anything?
The email is brtltx at gmail. So brtltx at gmail, and you can get in touch with the band.
Cool. I'm still blown away by your logo, dude. It's awesome. I'm looking at your Facebook page. Okay, so yeah, reach out to them on their Facebook page, Heinous Mutation, and I believe it's facebook.com/Heinous Mutation. So from there, I always like to ask musicians about advice that they would give to a young musician. I'm talking about maybe like a 13, 14-year-old kid who's thinking about maybe getting into music or learning how to play an instrument. What advice would you give to them?
Practice.
Yeah, that's always the main one.
Practice. Well, for me, speaking as a drummer, because I played in high school band and everything like that.
Drumline and all that.
Yeah, but I really didn't pay attention to how to read music that well. I did most of my learning from what the drumline was doing was by ear, and so, and I had a little cousin, and he actually ended up joining the Eastwood Drumline, and first thing I told him was learn how to read your music, practice, and as far as drumming goes, rudiments. Learn how to do your rudiments. It'll help you everywhere. And sure enough, he learned it, and I mean, the guy my cousin's. I think he's awesome. I know he can play better than I can. That's for sure.
Cool. Is he like in a band or?
No, but he does. He's going to UTEP, and he's going for what is it? It's like to be a sports broadcaster or something like that.
Oh yeah, cool.
But he's going through the works of video editing and stuff like that, and he's posted on his Instagram some kung fu type stuff, with him and his buddies, and it looks really well done.
That's
I'm
awesome.
like, wow. And then every now and then he'll put a video of him and his buddy just on a practice pad playing whatever they're doing, and it sounds awesome. I was like, wow. So hopefully, I don't want to take credit, but hopefully he took my advice to heart.
Yeah. That's like one of the influences.
I would just say, I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, I would just say, they're keeping an open mind, and not so much an open mind like playing, but being able to parlay your talent into something else could lead to, an engineering spot, or, what I'm looking forward to is getting old and getting a music playing gig at Disneyland. You imagine going to Disneyland, play guitar?
Oh yeah, even like I felt Texas, they always have.
Yeah, something,
Musicians,
because, being in El Paso, that's how I was too. I was like, I want to be a rock star. Das pendejo. It ain't happening. But, there's like, you could be a mariachis, make money. You could be a cover band, makes
Make
money.
money.
There's all kinds of different ways to make a living playing music. And it's maybe not all necessarily rock star.
Yeah. I actually mentioned it to a friend of mine. Her son just went to Houston or South Padre Island for a recording school, and he's a very well accomplished. Well, I wouldn't say, I don't know how well accomplished, but he played guitar very well.
Mm-hmm.
And a few years back, I had the pleasure of going on a cruise, and they had the house band for the cruise, and I said, he's right there where all the cruise liners are. Tell him to try and get a job sailing the seas, playing guitar,
There's a lot of different ways that is just that
You never know where music can take you.
one narrow, way of.
Yeah.
Any advice?
I think.
How about how many times do you get the whole thing about like being a girl in a band? Do you ever hear about that crap?
Honestly, I don't think anyone's ever mentioned
No?
it to me. No, not here.
They just don't talk to you.
Would you like?
Now?
Would you take that? Would you be offended by that or anything?
No.
No.
No, most people who say things like that, they don't.
They don't get it.
Yeah, they don't. It's not something you take to heart. You're like, eh. But all I could think of is, I know one thing that's ruined it for anybody who's ever been a musician was, I know it's really hard, probably more for men than women, but don't get into a relationship at all, of any kind. I mean, don't. If you're a boy, don't look for girls. The second that anybody I've ever met had hooked up with a girl, or I have a girlfriend, the music just disappeared. The music, the practicing, the playing, it disappeared. Everybody who I've ever met that just, if your heart is in the music, then just make that your love and keep going. And if you come across someone you like, try your best to not get involved. Don't have kids.
Wrap it up, man. Shoot them in the
These
face.
are just honest advice. If this is what
shot.
you want, if you want to make a living, if you want to go for it, the first thing is practice. Don't get involved with anybody. Don't have kids. Just make music your love and your life.
Hard truths.
And
Yeah.
because
Damn.
Little awful
Dude, that's the
Eddie.
truth right there. I think
Dropping
that's some of the
knowledge.
best advice we've gotten. And it's crazy because we're talking earlier about how being in a band is like being in a relationship, and then
Oh, yeah.
you bring in another factor into that
Yeah.
relationship, and you can see where things can go sour pretty fast.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty much, especially when you're young. You don't have what it takes to manage or balance your emotions, and wait till you get older.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would totally agree with that. Like I'm lucky, like I have Judy on my side. We're both on each other's side, and like we have the same passions, like and the same interests, and it's like so hard to find that. So
Yeah.
it's
Very
crazy, man. Okay, and so do you guys have any hidden talents that nobody knows about?
Hidden talent.
No, not really. Throw darts.
Any other interests away from music?
The bane of my existence is his darts
Yeah, I throw darts.
and his NASCAR.
Yeah, darts, and I love NASCAR.
Cool.
I would say no. I don't. I like watching movies. That's probably worse than anything. Because I could sit and just watch movies and
Like you could do like the
neglect
Netflix
everything.
binging.
Yeah. So
Cool. Those are some of the best days when you just sit around watching Netflix.
Oh yeah.
Like you start a series and you watch like all 10 episodes in one day.
Oh yeah.
What about your thoughts on social media bullying? Because the bullies are out there, man. I see you guys.
Yeah, you know what? I sometimes when I work and I have time, you know, I'll read, not really like Facebook or Twitter. Well, I don't have Facebook anymore, but I read the comment sections of like the articles, and people are just
That's where the
they're
gold
just
is.
nasty. They're
Dude,
mean.
you know,
I'm like,
Go to
"Golly."
YouTube. Check out comments on YouTube these days.
Oh really? Eesh.
Some people, man.
Now, a thing I like trying to do now every now and is, because I like to think of myself as a happy-go-lucky guy.
Smiley.
Amazon has silly reviews, like, you know, oh, somebody spent like $1 million on a TV, and then, you know, the comments on that, you know, those are funny. But yeah, like I said, sometimes when I read those comments on especially on the news sites, oh man, people are brutal. It's just why.
Even like on some serious issues too, like even like when something tragic happens to family members and stuff, some people can be pretty cold-blooded.
Oh yeah. Well, like I was reading today on that Stephen Hawking guy, and you know everybody would think, you know, you would celebrate, even though whether you agree with, you know, some of the things that he said, you know, but you would celebrate someone who was so accomplished, you know. No, there were some horrible comments about that guy on there. I'm like, dude, the guy's dead. Leave him alone.
Pretty fresh, man.
Yeah.
So I could just imagine if you know, some kid or some girl's, you know, on Facebook getting targeted, you know,
It happens a lot, man.
yeah.
What do you guys think?
It's wrong.
It's bad.
It's a bad thing. Don't do it.
Yeah.
But shout out to Stephen Hawking, man. That dude, what a bummer, huh?
Yeah.
Big time, man.
And my favorite comment was, "Are you sure he's dead? Did you turn the chair on and off?
Did you reset? Did you turn it
Did you
on and off?
reboot the motherfucker?" Shout out to Craig Mack as well, man. We should end with flavor in your ear.
Yep.
Yeah.
And okay, so the last part of this segment is any shout outs you want to give to anybody.
Oh God, we filled it up with shout outs. Who did we miss?
These two. We missed these two. Shout
Yeah,
out to
you
these
guys.
two.
Yeah, you guys been there since you guys took the first photos of us too.
Yeah, appreciate everything you guys do for not only us but the whole local community. You guys do a lot for us.
Thanks, man. It's our pleasure. We always say that we're just having fun while we can.
Oh yeah.
You guys are really good people. Real good people.
Yeah, it's a great time to be in the scene. Right, I think this is probably the best the scene's been in El Paso. Not only for metal, but for all kinds of music.
Oh, yeah.
Man, we like it. We love it, man. We love the music community in El Paso. We love the musicians, and we have a lot of fun because of you guys. I mean, you guys are like for our leisure time, you know, also our outlet. Like we have a shitty day, we go to a show and it gets better, man.
Oh, that's cool.
So, shout out to the music community in El Paso and
Yeah.
and everywhere. Like we have so many good friends like that are in touring bands and some of the best people we've met because we've gone to shows. You know?
That's true. Yeah, you meet a lot of good people at these shows.
Yeah, it's a great place, despite what my mom thinks. Right? It's we met some really great people.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's some wild times, huh?
Shout out to Heinous Mutation.
Hey, check us out. Find us on the bullshits.
Show.
Okay, so now it's time for the
Rapid fire.
segment. I'm gonna ask you guys 5 quick questions. You
Speed
have,
round.
you have a split second to answer, like all 3 of you. Okay. Okay. So, how long do you think it'll be before the White House has no more employees?
Next week.
Really? I think he's coming back, man. He's coming back for round 2.
Round 2.
Cool. What do you think you'd do if like the shit hit the fan and Russia like launched a nuclear bomb?
Oh damn.
Oh
What's the
man.
first thing you do?
That'd be devastating. I don't know what happened there. Just chaos, total chaos.
You didn't even know where to run, huh?
Yeah. Like a meteor coming to hit your city, you know. What do you do? Where do you go?
Run, scream.
Yeah, run and scream.
You guys could get together and play a last set.
There you go.
The Titanic style.
Just keep playing. Okay, so this weekend is the tattoo showdown, and if you would go to the showdown, like what tattoo would you get?
Wow. I don't have any tattoos. I don't know. I like looking at tattoos, but I don't know if I would ever get one.
They're fun. They're fun to get, man. They're fun to have.
Oh, I'm not knocking them. I might never get one.
George, do you guys have any?
He does. Oh, they do. Both of them do.
Just a few. It's not like it used to be where you get that one tattoo. You cut the sleeves and you had the one
You
tattoo.
make the whole.
Now it's like the yeah. What would I get? I have no idea.
Annie?
Craig Mack.
All right. Get the Stephen Hawking.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the softest song you could call your favorite song?
Oh. Softest song that we play or any?
No, just that you like to listen to.
Oh, My Life by the Beatles.
That'd be a slow song, huh? We're all gonna go Beatles, I guess. Martha, my dear.
There you go.
Soft songs, I really don't.
No? No, you don't like you don't listen to Delilah, the Quiet Storm?
What's that?
Annie. Annie's too metal for us.
Yeah, Annie's metal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really would be something by like Typo that you would listen.
Like a ballad or
One of theirs, yeah, probably.
A Weezer song.
Probably a Weezer song.
In Hell I Burn by
In Hell I Burn.
the ballad, the
Yeah.
unplugged version. Okay, so when you go to like a food truck park, which food truck do you go to? Like what kind of food?
Barbecue.
Yeah. Tacos, like steak tacos.
No.
Damn. I'd probably go. I still, a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle popsicle. With the
Dude,
gum.
they never look like the picture.
Yeah, with the gums
The
for
gum.
eyes.
The eyes are all like crooked.
Yeah, that was the shit. We got that extra 25 cents. You could splurge on
Ice
the
cream.
Tweety Bird or Pink Panther.
So you wouldn't get a tattoo? Would you get one?
What's that?
Would you get a tattoo?
Would I get a tattoo? I don't know. It'd have to be really
Do
cool, I guess. Or
you guys have like an idea what your next tattoo would be?
I would probably fix a tattoo I got.
Like a
Maybe-
cover up?
Yeah, or maybe like a werewolf or the American Werewolf.
Oh, yeah,
the
in London?
Werewolf, yeah.
Oh yeah, dude, that was pretty badass.
Yeah, yeah. I was wanting to be the werewolf. I wasn't as hairy for it, but
You? Any?
well, I'll try.
I think I'm done. I don't think I.
How many do you have?
A few. Maybe 3, 4? 3 or 4?
I already know what I want. My next one. It's the front of my parents' house.
Just your.
Like just a picture of the front of my parents' house. Yeah.
wow.
I have a spot here somewhere, like right here.
Is it the Dallas Cowboy house? Have you seen the Dallas Cowboy house?
Yes, I got a Dallas Cowboy tattoo right there.
Oh, nice.
Cool. So, okay. So, is there anything else that you guys want to talk about regarding Heinous Mutation or?
Now just check us out. Hopefully they'll look us up on Facebook and we'll keep posting.
Yeah. And I don't know. You guys are like real quiet, like on social media and stuff. But when you do have the chance to see them at a show, like they just sneak up on you and like put it right in your face, man. And that's what I like, because they're even at shows they're real calm and come up to you and say hi to you. But once they get on stage, man, they put the fucking pedal down and kick ass. I don't know how else to say it, man, but they kick ass.
We know how it works, but it's just we just feel we're bothering people with the reminders and
You guys
the
are like
whole-
the silent killers. They just creep up on you and you're fucking right there, man. So that's awesome, though, man. So you guys,
Well, we wouldn't have one, but when we started, people would ask us, "Where's your page or what does your band sound like?" And I'm like, well, don't worry about it, man. We're not asking, you know what I mean? I mean, I know what kind of show it is. We're not asking to jump on the mariachi show.
Mariachi festival.
We've got to be worried like it's not going to fit in or so. So all that was really slapped together. We really have no intention. Little, but you know, what we remember, we'll post something up in there.
Yeah. A lot of times it's just who we meet at the shows.
You just update the flyers or the shows coming and.
You know, and then sometimes that's all you need to see is a flyer, man. So if you guys do see Heinous Mutation on a flyer, hit them up, man. Hit up their shows and support them any way you can. Like I tell you, they creep up on you, but once you're there at their show, they smack you right in the face, man. So they're not trying to make it. They're not trying to get like Facebook famous, but they will. Fucking put the metal in your face.
After this, we will.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then if
Taking
people
us
ask
over
you,
the top, man.
if they ask you about your sound stuff, just tell them, hey, check out the Metal Shop vlogs. We're on there.
There you go. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so we want to thank you guys for coming and letting us feature you on our little project.
All right.
Thank you.
I think it was about time. It was a long time coming. And of course, as always, we want to thank our sponsors at Live Audio, Alex and Nicole Vargas. They're very generous people. And they're working on a lot of big things for El Paso right now. They're working on 420 Fest.
Yeah, we didn't give them a shout out.
So you guys be on the lookout for 20 Fest, man. There's 420 Fest. There's a lot of big things that are going to happen. A lot of cool bands. Support that. Because you never know. I mean, it could be the next big thing in El Paso. Also, shout out to Mama Judy, as always, for her kick-ass videography skills. Shout out to El Paso's bands, as always, man. You guys are awesome, and we love you guys. So we'll see you guys next week on the Metal Shop Vlogs.
See ya.
See ya.